as an individual that's on probation, speaking for myself, it's the easiest thing to do in the world if you're doing the next right thing and living the right way and have changed your life. You know what I'm saying? And doing it, never, but now, if you're not, it is hard.
All right, Mr. Howell, we'll build up. This is cause number CR 20-00083. Jacob Daniel Howell set today on defendant's motion for early release from community supervision. Just go ahead and have a seat right there. All right, Mr. Manning, your motion, you may proceed.
Yes, sir. Before we begin, I'd like the court to take judicial notice of the court's file.
Any objections from the state?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, court takes judicial notice of all contents of its file.
Judge, just administratively before we begin, my client, Jacob Howell, was put on probation back in 2021, in May 27th, 2021. He was put on for a term of 10 years, TDCJ, probated for 10 years, on a evading arrest detention with a vehicle. We filed this motion back on June 16th. And we've also had, since that point in time when we filed the motion, the Van Dyke County Probation Supervision and Corrections Department filed a memo on June 16th, 2025 to the court from Officer Mewburn regarding their agreement to this early release. At this time, I'd like to call my client, Mr. Jacob Howell.
All right, Mr. Howell, you'll come forward.
You want to sit on a witness? Oh, it's hard. And Judge, Mr. Howell does have some hearing issues, so I'll make sure I try to speak up loudly.
Okay, and if you need to approach, that's good. Mr. Howell, before you enter, if you'll raise your right hand. Sir, do you swear that the testimony given today will be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So,
Yes, sir.
what's your step? Have a seat. You can move that chair around. And Mr. Howell, during your testimony, just speak up loudly and clearly so I have opportunity to hear you. Also, to your left over here is the court reporter. She's typing down everything we say, so it's important that we talk one at a time. Allow your attorney and the state's attorney to finish their questions before you give an answer so that we're not talking at the same time. Understand?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Manning, proceed.
Thank you. Mr. Howell, can you hear me all right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Would you say that this probation has marked a drastic shift or change in your life?
Has it played a change in my life?
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Okay. And what caused that change?
What's the question?
What caused that change?
What caused that change?
Yes, sir.
Well, it sets a repetitious thing into motion into your life. You know, you're gonna get through it or you ain't. So, and then also the Narcotics Anonymous and Alcoholics Anonymous meetings that the individual can partake in. I would say that that truly surrendering to that way of life has set the way for me. In other words, probation ain't that hard as long as you ain't using drugs and alcohol.
Was that a problem that you struggled with prior to being put on probation back in 2021?
What is it?
Did you struggle with drugs and alcohol prior to 2021?
Yes, sir.
Okay. In fact, you had quite a bit of run-ins with the law prior to 2021. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And since you've been on probation, have you followed all the conditions that have been outlined by the probation department and by this judge?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did you pay all your fines and court costs?
Yes, sir.
Did you pay all your fees and reporting obligations?
Yes, sir.
Did you do all your community service?
Absolutely.
Okay. Did you ever pick up a dirty UA or have a bad test?
No, sir.
Did you ever miss an appointment?
No, sir.
Okay. Did you get arrested for any new offenses?
No, sir.
Did you have any other type of violation that the probation department had problems with you that they had to file with the court?
No, sir.
Okay. In fact, you mentioned something, you went above and beyond, in your probation, you attended AA and NA meetings, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And that wasn't a condition of your probation, was it?
No, sir.
What caused you to do that?
Um, well, it's personal to me. You know what I'm saying? It's a personal commitment that I've made. You know what I'm saying? So,
That wasn't something that the court was asking you to do, wasn't something your probation officer was asking you to do, it's something you said, I need to do this.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So let's get down to the reason we're here today is, you're asking to be released on, from probation earlier than what you originally signed. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And can you tell the court why you're asking to be released early?
Well, all I can do is tell you the truth, but I have recently acquired a Class A CDL through going to a college course over in Kilgore, Texas, and I I wasn't aware before I started the course that I don't know how much truth there is to this, but that the Judge Martin had quit giving travel permits. So just like any other uh, job, you can't get on with a company with no experience unless the bigger companies are on the road trucking companies.
And can you explain to the court what does it mean to be on the road truck?
On the road is state to state, so there's a lot more better chances of me getting a job running on the road than there is local.
Did you attempt to get a local job once you got your CDL?
Yes, sir. I'm attempting it now.
Okay, and have you had any luck getting a local job?
It's been a struggle.
Okay,
Yeah, it's been. I mean, it's possible, but it's. I don't have the greatest history.
let me back up. When you went on probation back in 2021, did your conditions allow for you to travel outside the state of Texas for work or for vacation?
Yes, sir. I believe so.
Okay, and you were going under the premise that that was when you made your decision to quit your job and go get this education and this license. You made that under the conditions and terms that you signed back in 2021. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and when you found out that when you informed Officer Mewburn that you were taking those steps, did she advise you that the conditions had changed?
Um. Yes.
Okay.
But yes.
Okay, and
It it was everything had been set in motion. I believe I'd already been involved in that class for a little bit of time.
and I think Ms. Meeburn's records reflect that when you came in to report in January, you informed her that you were unemployed because you were taking these classes. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
In other words, I didn't call my probation officer and tell her, "Hey, I'm quitting my job and going to CDL school." It was just like the next time I seen her.
Have you seen benefits from being clean and sober and taking care of your business on probation? Have you seen benefits with your family?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what have those benefits been
The benefits from them or from me?
for you?
Well, the benefits of being clean and sober
Yes, sir.
is when I leave, I normally get to come back. But no, on a more serious note, is it's just created a safe environment for my wife and children. You know, so
Do you have a healthy relationship with your family?
yes, sir.
Has it allowed you to be involved in their sports activities and
Absolutely. Got a son that plays travel baseball,
Okay.
and they travel around quite a bit. And it's a lot to keep up with, but I've got a daughter going to graduate this year, and another one that's I think she's in the 9th grade.
And I don't know if we told the court you have 3 kids. What are their ages?
17, 15, and 12. So my 2 oldest daughters are 17 and 15, and my son's 12.
Would you being able to use your degree and be employed as a trucker be able to provide a better lifestyle for you and your children as they
Yeah, yes, sir. That's the plan.
Okay.
Yeah, that.
Your Honor, I pass the witness.
State. Mr. Charwell.
Nothing from the state, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, anything further from this witness?
Not at this time, Judge.
All right, thank you, Mr. Howell. You may step down.
Like,
What's your step, sir?
Judge, next we can call Officer Stephanie Mewburn.
Mr. Muir. You swear that the testimony you give to the court today is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. What's your step? See. During your testimony, speak up loudly and clearly, and also one at a time. Okay,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Manny, go ahead.
Thank you, Judge. Officer Mewburn, can you give the court your impression of when Mr. Howell came on your caseload? What were your expectations for him?
I recall it being, he was kind of a known name, not personally. I didn't remember seeing news articles, but the office buzz was he was a big name, run in with the law, had an extensive criminal history.
Okay. And did that cause you concern, or did you feel like that was going to make things to be more difficult with Mr. Howell?
The assumption was yes,
Okay.
that it would be difficult.
And was that the reality?
Not at all.
Okay. Can you explain to the court how Mr. Howell did on his probation?
As he answered, he paid his fees when he was supposed to. He reported when he was supposed to or earlier than he was supposed to, and he completed all of his community service in a quicker fashion than he was ordered.
Okay. Is that normal for individuals with his type of history or background in life?
Kind of hard to answer what normal is. It wasn't the expectations, no.
Okay. In exceeding the expectations, was there anything that he did that you saw him committed to that helped in his sobriety or his commitment to change his life from the way it was before?
I saw a couple different, the AA and NA attendance on his own left an impression. He made sure to turn that in with me. He didn't have to. He didn't have to discuss it with me, but he did. He brought it every time. It was an important part of our meeting, even though it wasn't from me. He told me about his kids and how being part of their life they travel. I've even seen him at sporting events myself. So kind of those couple changes, I guess.
Okay, excellent. When you generated the memo to the court stating your agreement, did you check and make sure that he had completed all the conditions as ordered by the judge?
I did.
Okay. And did you find any violations or any cause for concern for him not to be granted early release at this time?
I did not find any concerns.
Okay. And can you confirm what I asked him earlier, that when he was put on probation on May 27th, 2021, did his condition, let me point it out specifically, condition G, state that he was to remain within the state of Texas unless he had first secured written consent of the court to leave therein?
That's correct.
Okay. And did you have a discussion with Mr. Howell regarding the change in that condition after he informed you about his unemployment and plans to get the CDL?
That's correct.
Okay. What was Mr. Howell's demeanor or a response when you informed him of the change in the policy?
I can tell it deflated him a little bit. He had some expectations that he was moving forward with, and then kind of took the air out of his sails. But I do recall he was kind of what he said up here. He was hopeful that he could find one maybe that was in state and that didn't require the request.
At this point in time, has he been able to find a job or report to you that he's found a job?
Yes,
He has?
he does have a job. Yes.
And is that in the field that he was trying to get into with the CDL?
Forgive me, I don't recall.
Okay, that's fine. Do you believe that the travel restriction hinders his ability to pursue the change and growth in his life that he has got with a CDL?
I do think it hinders the CDL. Yes.
Okay. Do you think that if the court denied his request for early release, that Mr. Howe would have any problems falling through the conditions of his probation.
No.
Would he be at risk if he were to be put on non-reporting status or be granted travel permit?
Can you ask that again?
Would you be concerned that there'd be a change in behavior if he were to be given non-reporting status as a probationer, or if he would be given a travel permit? Would that be a concern of yours?
Thank you. I do not think that would be a concern.
Is there anything you feel like the court needs to know about Mr. Howell, or about his performance on probation while he was working with you?
I don't think anything extra. I think that we're early and asking for early releases tells all.
And I apologize. In the conditions of probation, it outlines under Article 42A 701 the procedure for when legally he is permitted to receive early release from probation. Are you familiar with that section of the conditions of probation?
I can't quote it, but I know what you're referring to. Yes.
And just for your reference and recollection, it allows a probationer who's completed all the terms of probation and served at least 1/3 of the original probation period, or 2 years, whichever is less, that you can petition. Has Mr. Howe completed those timeline and condition requirements to be able to apply for early release at this time?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Your Honor, I pass the witness.
Nothing from the state, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Manning, additional witnesses or evidence?
No, Your Honor.
You rest.
Yes, Judge.
Any witnesses or evidence?
No, Your Honor.
Argue from Mr. Manning?
Yes, Judge. I would argue that we have met the legal burden under 42A. He has completed all the requirements to petition the court, but we recognize that this decision still lies in the court hands. And so I would just point to not only my client's testimony, but Officer Meburn's testimony, that in this situation, we see a drastic change from someone who was struggling with drugs and alcohol, who was struggling to follow the rules of society, who comes into a probation situation that quite remarkably, he knew what he needed to do, and not only did he know that, he did it. And so, Judge, we would ask that as the conditions have changed over the years, that there was not a part of what he originally agreed to, we would ask that we grant the early release, that we allow Mr. Howell to continue his progress forward, that we reward his efforts for being on probation, doing what the court has asked him to, and not only just doing that, but going above and beyond to have a lifestyle change, not just to change his outward behavior, but to change who he is internally, the man that he is, how he has moved from a position of focusing on himself to being there for his family, being there to care for his kids and provide for them through this opportunity for work. So we'd ask that, humbly ask that the court follow the recommendation of the probation department to follow the request from my client and grant him an early release at this time.
Thank you, Mr. Manning. Gerard Walker.
Thank you, Your Honor. I think clearly Mr. Howell has put in a lot of work and has done a very good job on probation, and certainly he's to be commended for that. Really, Your Honor, the issue is just historically and traditionally, we have always expected probationers to complete half of their probation before agreeing with early termination. That's always factored into what we're weighing when we're offering probation, making probation offers. So really, Your Honor, it's just a matter of changing the equation again. So that's really all the state's position at this point, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Harwell. Anything else, Mr. Manning, on your motion?
Judge, I just point out he was already at the max. He was given 10 years probation, and so he worked that probation as requested and followed those conditions. As to where the policy for half comes from, I don't know. I've spoken to the probation department, and they're not sure where the policy came from either. But what the law says is that at 1/3 or 2 years, whichever's is less, is when we're allowed to ask for that. So we'd ask that because of his performance and meeting the expectations and exceeding those expectations, he'd be given early release.
Thank you, Mr. Manning. All right, typically the court would take this under advisement and issue a ruling at a later time. However, today I'm going to go ahead and issue a ruling. I do want to answer one of your questions or one of maybe what you're curious about. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You said during your testimony you didn't know if it was true or not that I had restricted travel permits outside of the state, and you're absolutely correct. I did have a change in policy on that. Has nothing to do with individuals like yourself traveling outside the state. It has everything to do with judicial liability for me should someone like yourself commit an offense outside the state of Texas. So that did cause a shift in judicial policy. I will tell you that there are so many people that are placed on probation that don't do as well as you have done. And if I'm being quite honest, I think that whenever you were placed on probation, I too may have had the same perception about you that Officer Mewburn did. I think you recall I was DA before I was judge, and you and I had professional acquaintances at that time, did we not? We did, as did Mr. Schmidt over here, who was working in the DA's office. And so I think at the time that you were given an opportunity to be on probation, I might have shared that same question about whether or not you were actually going to be able to serve your sentence in the community. And I will tell you that I've been pleasantly surprised at your performance. And so there's a lot of individuals, as I said before, who do not meet the terms and conditions that's been laid before them. And I put them on sanctions court. I bring them in, and I have to sometimes beg them to not go to prison. I have to beg them to do their community service. I have to beg them to pay their fees on time. I have to beg them not to test positive for drugs and for alcohol. And I do all those things to try to intervene to keep them from going to prison. You've been to prison, haven't you? You know what it's like to be in prison. You also know what it's like to be on probation. And would you agree with me, Mr. Howell, that being on probation is not an easy task? Would you agree with me that it's not easy to be on probation?
Judge, if I may, I think his testimony.
Well, I mean, what I'm trying to figure out, I mean, as an individual that's on probation, speaking for myself, it's the easiest thing to do in the world if you're doing the next right thing and living the right way and have changed your life. You know what I'm saying? And doing it, never, you know, but now, if you're not, it is hard to be on probation.
Yes, sir. And I think we're on the same page.
Okay.
A lot of people think that getting probation is a slap on the wrist and it's easy to go out
Oh, no.
and do your community service and pay your bills and avoid drugs and alcohol and not commit new offenses. But it is easier whenever you decide to live your life the correct way,
Yeah.
the right way, and to not violate the rules and morals of our society. All right. And so I say all these things to you, Mr. Howell, because today I think that you should be rewarded for the work that you have put forth on your community supervision. The fact that you have not received a violation, the fact that you have completed all of your community service, the fact that you have gone above and beyond and taken things such as NA and AA seriously, even though they were not ordered for you to do so. That shows that you are trying and have, I think, turned your life around. So I don't think that you would be sitting here today if you were not actually in the process, if not have already completed the process of getting your life on the right track. I would tell you that if you'd only served a year or 2 years of your community supervision and you got a CDL and you said, hey, I went off probation so I can go drive a truck outside the state of Texas, but for all this other evidence that you have done what you're supposed to, that your probation officer says that you've done things on time before they're due, But for all those things, I don't think I would have granted it. But because you have done all those things and you're seeking to better your life for you and your family by way of getting a CDL and traveling outside of the state of Texas, I'm going to reward you today and commend you on your successful completion of probation thus far. And I'm going to grant your motion for early termination.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Mr. Manning, I think you filed an order.
Yes, Judge, I did.
I will have that printed off from the clerk's office and I'll get that signed. Actually, Mr. Abraham, will you go print that for me? And if you want to stick around, I'll get that signed today and you can get a copy from the clerk's office.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, if there's nothing further, then we're adjourned in this case.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, thanks for watching. Please do let us know in the comments what you thought of this video. If you'd like to support what we do here, the best way to do it is to pick up some of our merch. You can find it at courtroomfiles.com.